Hey guys, this is Peter, the Warner Brothers Universal and Paramount fan 2002 here once again, and today's discussion will be the rise and the fall of 4Kids Entertainment, and how the masterpiece has turned into a censoring disaster in the US dub of the Japanese anime. So without any further ado, let's start this discussion, shall we? So we all have nostalgia of certain anime when we were younger, right? Dragon Ball, One Piece, Sonic X, Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, you might have heard of a company called 4Kids Entertainment. They were a company formed back in the 1970s, starting off as leisure concepts and began by licensing toys for properties like Star Wars. It wasn't until the mid to late 90s where they began dubbing shows like Pokémon and rebranded as 4Kids. In the 2000s, they had a pretty impressive catalog of anime as well as new original shows like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2003. Sonic X would also become their big behemoth as it was massively successful in America. That's enough of the good. Now we can move on to why people hate this company. Their anime had to be heavily censored to air in America. They started off as small changes like simply removing stuff like blood, and changing gunshot sounds to laser sounds. But in 2004, they got the rights to dub One Piece as they bought it in a package deal. They didn't want to dub it due to the amount of blood, death, and sexual content present in it, but Toei Animation forced them to do it anyway. It's also worth noting that 4Kids haven't watched a single episode of One Piece when they were buying it. As for the dub itself, what the actual fuck were they thinking? The dub was bad for multiple reasons. They drove the censorship over the top. Characters' names were changed and deaths were rewritten, and entire arcs were dropped. Unfortunately, things only got worse after they lost the rights to One Piece. They started getting the rights to more anime and heavily censored them, as well as rebranding Fox Box into 4Kids TV. Here's the worst thing to come out of that.
And now, the stars of 4Kids will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
Gave proof through the night.
Not sharp. You gotta always, I say you gotta always listen.
Yep, they made a bunch of characters sing the US national anthem. I can't help but cringe whenever I hear it. It's very unlikely that they had permission from the original creators to do this. In 2008, the WB network allowed 4Kids to create a new block called the CW4Kids, which would later be renamed to Unzai. Their final nail in the coffin was when they got their nasty hands on another Toei Animation property, Dragon Ball Z Kai. They didn't dub it, but they apparently drove Funimation crazy over the demands of censorship and re-recorded lines. The worst thing about all of this is when they made Sonic's voice actor, Jason Griffith, say this.
Goku's gotta get his boy back, but he knows he can't beat Raditz on his own. That's when Goku's old enemy Piccolo shows up. Now Piccolo's a Saiyan just like Raditz.
Say what?
Now Piccolo's a Saiyan.
First of all, why? Second of all, Piccolo is a Namkian, not a Saiyan. Alright, let's get to the full details of it. First, I'll talk about how 4Kids has ruined certain anime. One of the reasons that 4Kids is most criticized by anime fans that grew up with it is the fact that they ruined certain anime with their localization rules. 4Kids was a channel aimed towards the children's demographic. This proved to be quite the issue because many anime contain acts of violence, drinking, and smoking which wouldn't slide. This led to shows being heavily edited and in turn, ruined for this growing audience. That's why the channel is blamed for things such as One Piece's current status in the West while it's insanely popular everywhere else. And about the confused anime fans, this leads up to my next topic. Jumping right off of the last point, 4Kids not only ruined certain anime but it also ruined the brains of young anime fans everywhere. Their localizations sometimes came with rewriting and replacing episodes, which meant changing the airing order when it came to certain series to fit their narratives more. This means that many viewers would end up confused as one episode would end in one spot and pick up somewhere else. Once grown up, many look back to these old shows and find they witnessed something completely different. Now to talk about how 4Kids has introduced viewers to anime. While the localization of these anime from 4Kids proved to be a pretty bad time, there were good things that came from it as well. In fact, despite maybe not knowing about the medium at the time and just seeing these shows as more cartoons, many viewers were first introduced to anime through the 4Kids block, thus putting this flawed station up there with Toonami as one of the sources that truly birthed a new generation that made anime the cool thing to be interested in. Next topic is how 4Kids gave niche anime an audience. Another good thing that 4Kids brought over was the licensing of very niche anime that the West may not have been introduced to otherwise. These niche shows include but are not limited to R, Bomberman Jetters, Dinosaur King, F-Zero, GP Legend, Kirby Right Back at Ya, Magical Do-Re-Mi, Tokyo Mew Mew, Mew Mew Power, and Kinnikuminase, Ultimate Muscle. Without 4Kids, these great shows may have never had a chance with this foreign audience, so they really should be given props for even taking the chance to air them. And about the censorship of anime, this leads up for my next topic of this discussion. Although they've been shown to do some good, everything that comes from 4Kids isn't all sunshine and rainbows. In fact, there is an argument for this children's cartoon block doing more bad for the anime audience than good. The censorship that these shows had to go through largely ruined multiple shows due to them having plot lines and awesome action removed. One can look to the infamous One Piece changes for examples of this tainting, but One Piece certainly isn't the only anime that was affected by this censorship. The censorship, however, did birth something great when it comes to the current fanbase of anime. A new age of memes that currently have spread far and wide on the internet was born due to the absurdity of the censorship and blatant Americanization of anime that made appearances on the 4Kids block. These memes go from hilarious to just plain sad due to them being based on actual decisions that are constantly mocked by them. One look at these memes can show how 4Kids would edit just about any anime one can think of. As said in the last entry, 4Kids was very heavy on Americanizing the localized anime that it licensed. These shows weren't simply censored and over-edited, but they were truly localized in the worst sense of the word. Things like Japanese foods and anything else relating to their culture was heavily edited out. This means that one of the main draws of anime was removed, which means bad news for those that are into anime for more than just the fun stories. Before 4Kids, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wasn't even a thing in the West. 4Kids was the sole company responsible for licensing, localizing, and dubbing this now iconic shonen series. This means that 4Kids is to thank for an entire culture that is currently flourishing with a great scene in the States to this day. Not only was 4Kids the original home for the original Yu-Gi-Oh!, but the original home for many of its sequels that came in the following years as well. 4Kids not only introduced a new era of children to anime but introduced companies to something new and profitable to market as well. While anime was already a thing in the States, 4Kids made it a new type of thing, with one of the main things behind it being the commercialization of these children's anime. While 4Kids did do some good by localizing certain shows, it was highly evident that they went about it the wrong way due to the wants of the heads of the company. This has served as a blueprint for years to come for other companies to learn exactly what not to do when dubbing and localizing an anime. So in conclusion, following the end of 4Kids, anime localization has become more normalized than ever, with even the most casual viewers knowing exactly what this medium is. The mistakes of this company definitely have played a hand in this newfound success. I'm glad they no longer exist. I will always prefer other dubs of these shows over these. I can confidently say that 4Kids Entertainment is the perfect example of how not to localize anime to Western audiences. So that concludes the discussion about the dark side of 4Kids Entertainment. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. And I'll see you on the next video. Enjoy your day.